and study with Apala Engineering and General Geology Parvin Singh book. So in chapter 7, classification of fault. Faults occur in a great varieties. It is possible to classify them into different types on the basis of some common characters. A detailed discussions covering all the parameters of classification of fault will be beyond the scope of this book. We may discuss here only the few very common type of fault and the characters on which they are grouped together. So following factors are most commonly considered important in classification of fault: the apparent movement of the disrupted blocks along the fault planes, the direction of slip, the relations of fault attitudes with the attitude of the displaced bits, the amount of a dip of the fault, and mode of occurrence. So apparent movement of a basis. In a faulted sequence of rock layers, one part may appears to have moved up or down or moved right or left with respect to the other part of the same layers. The emphasis in this case is only on appearance, because actually it may require to be established which of the two parts, the hanging walls and the foot walls has moved during faulting, and by how much. Three fundamental types of faults are commonly distinguished on the basis of apparent movement: normal fault, reverse fault, and strike slip fault. Normal fault: such a fault in which hanging walls has apparently is moved down with respect to foot wall is classified as normal fault. In this definitions, it is clearly implied that nothing can be said with certainty whether it was the hanging walls which moved down, or the foot walls which moved up, or both the walls moved down. The hanging walls moving more than the foot wall, and hence the appearance with whatever the case, when the fault satisfies the definition of a hanging walls standing at a lower positions with respect to the footwall, it may be classed as a normal fault. In normal fault, the fault planes may be inclined at any angle between horizontal and verticals, but most commonly the fault angles are between 45 degree and verticals, further due to the inclined natures of the fault planes and downward displacement of a part of the stratus. Normal fault cause an extension in the crust of wherever they occur. Normal fault in figure. So normal fault are also often termed as a gravity fault, especially when it is established that the hanging wall has actually moved down with respect to the foot wall. Thank you.